We are live.
Hey folks, Engineer 775 here. I can't look at that, I'm watching the road. Anyway, I'm here with Johnny Valentine. We're working today on a couple of things. We're always working on new fun projects. Johnny helped me put in a simple pump down in Griffin, Georgia today. And why don't you tell them about it?
Well, it was treacherous. Treacherous is not the word. I guess the right word would be it was tight. You know, she told us it was a
Coming up there.
removable roof. What do we got? Hey Scott. Hi Scott. Hey Elijah. Your son's on there. She said it was a removable roof. It was not. So the roof wasn't removable. So we had to do a little roofing work. 2 foot high, about 2.5 foot high walls, and lots of spiders and skeeters. We're down in South Georgia.
Snakes.
So there was plenty of spiders and skeeters and snakes. It's great the text is on you. There was some snake skin. I'll read the comments. How are you guys? We just had some bad barbecue, which I left a scathing Google review, and we do have these
Killer
we
cheese.
got some cheese Danish, and
Man.
Darlene gave them to us, and they're unbelievable. Unbelievable. I haven't been having sugar, so I'm like freaking out when I eat it. Yeet! Oh, okay. Why are you saying that? But we're good, Cole. Thank you. How are you? Hope you're good. Hope you're prepping hard, Cole. All right. So anyway, just did this simple pump install. Lady actually contacted me, but Mr. Scott's the man when it comes to simple pumps. So it's always been a dream of mine to learn how to install pumps like Scott. So I got to go do it. And this one wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be when we got there.
No, we were told that the roof came off the building, but it did not. So we had to drill holes and make a mess and do some roofing.
Yeah, did a little roofing. But you know, it's just a well house.
It was good. What's nice about these, this lady was so happy to have water. She said she has tried for 10 years to get water out of her well. And the well guy said it can't be done. Nobody will do it. And she was just kind of, you know, she's seriously preparing, and she has a good well. So it was just great to be able to go help her out today. She's out there giving us tea and cheese Danishes and water and spoiling us.
Yeah, I like to me you won on one Scott Eats Steakhouse RM. That doesn't make any sense, I see it, Abe, but if you want to try it again, I'll be happy to read it. It's nice to see someone happy. Well, we are happy, Roy, but I was dissatisfied.
Darlene.
Oh, yeah, she was very happy. I thought you were talking about me and my barbecue.
Almost tearful.
She actually cried. She did cry. Oh, very bad connection, sorry. I like to see someone happy, me too. State House. Oh, what state are we in? We are in Georgia. Scott is on his way back. Yeah, we're in Georgia, I see it. Right now. Okay, I'm based out of Georgia, North Georgia. Scott's based out of an undisclosed location. We're both based out of undisclosed locations. Can I tell them what state the undisclosed location is? The undisclosed location is in an undisclosed part of South Carolina, but it's very undisclosed. One of the most undisclosed locations there is. So anyway, just got that simple pump in, and but we travel all over the
place.
Not all over the place, but we'll burn up the road about 6 hours.
Cool thing, we've been doing a lot of projects together, and you know, we do offer, you know, people that we can't get to. We have put together some nice packages, whether they're small solar packages, large packages, just water, air conditioning, refrigeration, solar. So if you folks, you know, just because we can't drive doesn't mean we can't supply you with some nice equipment that we've tested. We know that works. We're not going to give you junk. And so we've gone through a lot of junk. We don't sell that.
Mr. Tube says, why go live if you don't want to tell us? Well, we don't. People don't get on YouTube just so they can tell you where they live, son. People get on YouTube to learn stuff. Now, I'm not going to have that kind of talk. January, I was in Atlanta, Georgia for a month. I've been watching him. I like to pick his brain 101. That's what I'm trying. Pick it up. Pick it. You can call Engineer 775. You can
email,
hyper post, or do some kind of a
super chat
on here, and I will make your question go up to the front.
I don't know how to do super chat mobile, but go ahead.
But you can email him, you can call him. He does consults. You just let us know, I see. We'll help you any way we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this lady, you know, she had 3 250-watt panels in her yard, in her house. Your accent reminds me of swing blade. Well, I like that accent a lot. We can turn it up and turn it down, son. Your accent reminds me of Sling Blade. Well, he's actually not Southern, so his accent
It's fake.
is fake. But I'm born and bred.
He was talking about me.
Oh.
No.
You should meet Ronnie sometimes. When I get real tired, I turn into Ronnie. But,
Oh,
so this lady had...
I just got to watch the road, folks.
Yeah, she had 3 250-watt panels, and she's like, what do I do with these? She had a ham shack, killer garden. She just wanted to run her little fridge. Yeah, she was great. So it's nice to see somebody that happy. We're going to try to come back with volume 2 of this. Do a little backup power system using her 3 panels. Probably won't do a super heavy-duty concrete ground mount, maybe some kind of removable rack, and a little pre-wired system that will just come hang on the wall with some telecom batteries. Pole mount's too expensive. She's going to have to pay us in cheesecake.
Cheese dish.
Potatoes. You just want me to say redneck stuff? I will. Just type in whatever you want me to say, and I'll just say it. We can talk like that all day long.
Got any questions about solar or water?
We got an hour-long drive from Griffin, Georgia, back to the rendezvous point in Quick Trip, Pendergrass, and we just open for brain picking. Anybody wants to pick the brain while I satisfy myself with this cheese dash? The texture is just delightful. No question.
Laughter is good, folks, and as you can tell, I do plenty of it when I'm with old Johnny Valentine.
We got 31 people watching. We talked about this earlier this morning on Truck Time with Engineer 775 on my channel. Might as well make a dig for my channel. If you're not following me,
You need to follow Gain
go over there.
Solar.
Go on over there. Take yourself and click Gain Solar. My videos aren't as good as Scott's. My not as good a talker, but I try and it's getting better.
It's getting good.
Some good ways to secure your property in an apartment. What are some good ways to secure your property in an apartment?
Well, we use the Dakota Alerts a lot. I mean, they're just a very simple wireless way for you to set up a perimeter. And it doesn't have to be in your apartment. It can be up to miles away from your apartment, handling traffic coming from any direction. So we really like having Dakota Alerts, and they're on our website, and just having some handheld radios that work with those Dakota Alerts. So it gives you a perimeter. You're able to communicate.
All right, they're asking a bunch of stuff here. All right, so, and what about those things you can screw into your doors to make it harder to kick the door open?
Yeah, there's a lot of very wise. They got plates. I like the ones on the floor. You actually place them on the floor.
All right, they also want to know how to read the stuff on a battery and how to size a solar system.
Well,
I don't know how to dig those questions back up.
Yeah, it's very. You can hit it again. I think you can go.
Let me see if I can. You stay away. You stay away. You're driving. All right. Could you take a second, explain to us?
Yeah, you can pull them down.
Written on that battery that says amp hours.
Yeah.
All right.
So about the 20-hour rate.
Yeah. So there's also coatings, and there's stuff you can install in your doors, and coatings you can put on your windows to make it harder to kick out. And then there's always guns. You can have guns in your apartment. That's secure. We have a lot of them down here. All right. If you look at a battery, it's going to say the amp hour rating. And it's basically, they're going to give you a time for that battery, like what is it called? A
discharge rate.
Discharge rate. And so it's usually 20 hour for solar because that's close to 24 hours. Could be 100 hours. Just depends on what the usage is. But we're talking about deep cycle batteries. So if you see a 20 amp hour rate on like let's say an L16 Trojan with a 376 amp hours of 20 amp hour, that means that in 20 hours, you can discharge 376 amp hours out of that, and that's 100% of that. And they tested it, 20, 5, all these different charge rates. Stay away, driver. Try and start prepping group. Is there any way to help with that? Try to start a neighborhood watch around. Just try to start a neighborhood watch. That might work.
That eases into it.
Have you thought about using your boiler to run a small steam engine? Man, we talked about that.
Yeah, it's not a pressure vessel, so even though it's misleading to call it a boiler, and that's the name of the company, Central Boiler. They're not boilers. They're not rated to make steam.
All right.
So that's why we gasify.
All right. What ways have you found to use excess solar? And talk more about a fridge. All right, I'll talk about a fridge real quick. A fridge pulls like it's on a regular outlet. It's usually on a 15 or 20 amp breaker, so that means it's not going to pull over 1500 watts when it starts. Most fridges don't pull that much when they start, and anything that you can plug into a wall, you can
get one of the inverter compressor refrigerators.
Yeah, the new inverter compressors are a lot more efficient. If you want to know exactly how much it pulls, go to Home Depot and buy a Watts Up. It's like this little thing that you plug in the outlet and then you plug the fridge in, and it'll tell you how much it pulls. But you know, usually 1500 watts is the maximum amount that a fridge is going to pull. If it's an inverter compressor, it's less. What clever ways have you found to use excess solar produced, if not grid tied?
Water.
Heat and water. Pumping water. Heat and water. Drinking water.
Or send it now. Tell them about sending it back for the same price of a DC couple. You could send the power back to your power company.
Now, just about for the same price, you can do like the Magnum GT 500s, and it's almost the same price as a grid tied system. You do have to go through. Yeah, watch our last video. His last video. You got to go through all the red tape of tying it to the grid, but heating water heating dump load. Magnum has a ACLD dump load controller that's actually designed to put out unrectified AC into a hot water heater. All right. Have you ever experimented using wood gas to run an RV refrigerator? What's the best homestead you've ever seen?
Wow, we've seen so many.
He's got an awesome one.
We've seen so many cool homesteads.
Swedish homestead is pretty cool.
We haven't seen his homestead though. That's a trip.
Yeah, but it's a good
The other thing
channel.
on the storage, where to put the excess solar energy, we really think that thermal storage is a great place to put it.
Who's Trey Gowdy?
I don't know. Is he
He's putting bad comments.
Oh,
Trey, shame on you, son. If your mama could read that, I wish she could, Trey. Miss Gowdy would just throw up. What's the status of the multi-aqua setup? Elmer.
Is that Elmer Ebersol?
Yeah.
Hey, Elmer.
Status?
We're getting there. We've had some roller coaster rides with it. It is performing excellent on the chiller side. We've had some issues with the inverter, and that is being fixed soon. So, is that on that hill?
That is a solar farm on this hill. This is cool. Here's a solar farm in Georgia. If you're ever in Georgia, I don't know if you can see that, but I actually know and used to work for the electrician that wired up that. That's I think that's thin film solar on a landfill site. It's a big green mountain. It's very impressive.
Right, so we need to talk Osprey. That's one thing I forgot.
Oh yeah, we do need to talk about that. All right, enough this. That thing's awesome. Are they email you?
Yeah, they talked to me. Both two guys called me. Anyway.
I'm not going to listen to that. I mean, 3 inverter system. Mr. Tube, not sure what you're talking about there. What's the best homestead you have been able to work on? Okay.
Obviously, we can't give away the location, but we have...
Just tell me who their name is. I'm trying to think of...
Oh, gosh.
Any communities? Have you ever worked on any cool communities?
You know, the community approach has failed in many cases. A lot of people have had a big heart and they want to build a prepper community where that it's been on one piece of property. We found that it's better to have a network of people on their own properties, just everybody helping each other out. But going to one location has not worked very well. And I've been to Texas, Missouri, up north. I've been everywhere that people have wanted to do this, but I've not seen a successful one yet. I can do this 285 East. Where am I going?
Yeah, Scott's driving. I'm trying to think of the coolest homestead. We actually went to an awesome homestead. We're going to be doing a really cool project with Mill Creek Timber Frame. Is it cool to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about it. That's going to be awesome.
So we're going to be doing this Mill Creek Timber Frame project, and he's calling them right now, he's calling them ADU, Alternative Dwelling Units. And we're going to be designing the infrastructure, the power systems, the heating system, the water system, cooling system. We're basically going to head up the infrastructure portion of this. And it's going to be, you know, if you think about all the things, think about the tiny house movement, which is people just want to live out, you know, debt free, and they want to have a, you know, quick spot or quick shelter. It's going to have all the good things about tiny houses, but it's not a tiny house. It's going to be like a jewel house.
Gorgeous,
Yeah,
nice,
they're
beautiful.
Awesome timber frames, super strong. They're pre-engineered. They're like prefab almost. We're going to be able to set these things on piers. They're going to be engineered for any foundation. You're going to be able to pull the trigger, make one purchase. You're going to get everything you need. You're going to get the shelter. You're going to get the infrastructure. Everything's going to come in a container. I can't wait, please. More formula. Not sure about that.
More formulas.
I-285.
I guess they want more engineering formulas.
We are driving back to our rendezvous point. Scott's going home, and Scott's going home, and I'm going home. We're going home. We're going north.
We're going home.
Yep.
But we got a lot of projects lined up. We can't seem to stick with one thing. We try a lot of different new technologies, and so it's fun working with Johnny. We're just getting it. We have a really awesome electrician that we work with. We got a new guy, Tony Thrasher. We're hoping that he comes on board with he's got a lot of skills in air conditioning, heating and air installation. So we want to hear
more about alternative dwelling units and whether the monitoring is something we're seeing a lot, and if it's
monitoring.
Yeah, all right. So the real quick question you asked about monitoring, and like you saw, the Magnum is network connected. Man, in the last few years, every single system comes out. It's got monitoring, and it's got to be.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it adds a type of labor and a super refined skill set that we don't necessarily know. So it's kind of a headache to mess with the stuff, and that's why that Magnum GT500 stuff was so nice, is because, man, it was easy to hook the internet up. Sometimes that's just such a pain.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing my router, my Verizon router, to every job, because everybody's got different router issues. We had to get an IT guy in to assign IP addresses the last job, so sometimes it's difficult.
Brian Hunt says, Johnny, I need to add my 4 kW MagnaSign inverter charger to a Listeroid 6/1 4 kW. I need steady 60 hertz AC without battery bank. Who is Brian Hunt?
That's my brother.
Your brother?
Yeah.
He has a Magnum?
Hey, Brian.
Why do you don't have a Magnum, do you?
No, he bought a Magnum the other day.
Should have bought it from me.
He got a $500.
You're
$500.
Oh, Mr. Tube. All right, then they also asked, all right, so you want to hear more about the ADUs. So, okay, we got a company. This guy is really, really smart. I don't know how to block Trey Gowdy, but he's definitely a loser.
Don't feed him.
Yeah, we're not going to feed him. We're not going to talk about him. We're just going to pretend he's not there because we're live. Yeah, look at that monster. Anyway, the alternative dwelling unit it's like a whole bunch of different solutions. You see in this VRBO thing popping up where everybody's renting out these places in their backyard or small cottage rental. You see people, everybody wants a tiny house. People, you got retiring people that don't need near as much space, and you got young people that don't have kids, and they want like these tiny houses, but tiny houses really aren't right. The footprint of the tiny house is small, but you shouldn't have to live in a boat. I'm not a tiny house guy. You're not a tiny house guy.
We're not. We're big boys, okay? These boys are big. You're XL and everything you got. You know what I'm saying?
So we're not real tiny house people. And what these ADUs are going to be is they're going to just be a couple of cookie cutter designs that are really tasteful out of Mill Creek timber frame, and they're going to be real modular. So you have your central unit where your kitchen and your main space is, but then you're also going to have your bedroom units, and they're going to be all connected with porches, and it's kind of going to have this old English Appalachian Ewok village feel, if you can get to that. But what we're excited about is putting in the power systems. We're going to sell these awesome packages with them, and you're going to be able to talk to you for free, but you charge a lot. Oh yeah, okay. So Asid says, could you explain to the knuckleheads that we're getting to talk to you for free, but people pay a lot of money? Yeah, how much do people pay to talk to you?
$150 an hour.
Yeah, and I usually charge about $85. Huh?
We save a lot of people time. It's not about the money. We save you a lot of time. We've already tried a lot of things. A lot of people make a lot of expensive mistakes.
Are we going to do a lithium-ion battery project? Yes, we definitely are going to do lithium-ion battery projects, but not until somebody comes to us with something that's Well, I mean, if somebody comes to us with enough money, we're going to do it.
Probably the first one, unless something else changes, will be the Harbor battery from Panasonic, coupled to a Pica inverter. There's a press release out on it. You can search Harbor Pica.
That's the Harbor solution by Pica. Please give me my mod. I want to ban these people. Give me my mod.
Moderator. Who is it? Who's saying that?
Who said they want a mod? 150 an hour. Dang, that's cheap. Jason, you're cheap. Just kidding. Cheap Dave.
Was that Andrade?
Yeah, you're the man, Jason. Please give me mod. All right, how do I do that?
You can't do it right there.
Put user in. Oh, I can block this guy. Oh man, I can block him.
Yeah, get him.
Goodbye, Mr. Gowdy, you little loser.
Looks like I've got you. Oh, you're going. You're going.
Goodbye.
Remove. Oh, sorry, son. You just got blocked, Mr. Gowdy. All right, who else? All right, thank you, Cole Nethercott. You're the man. I'm so glad I got to block you, Gowdy. You little devil. All right, I'm looking for some info on solar. Well, Grunt for Life, look no further. You can go to my channel or you can stay on this channel. We know it. I got 2 life
Send
going
us
soon.
an email. We will design you a solar system.
You are just too small. I can't go that low. Mr. Tube, if you don't stop talking like that. Oh, how's Trady still on here?
Remove.
Block. 775 view, deleted message. Report, remove, put user in timeout.
A lot of these are scrolling by the screen. If you want, send me an email, info@practicalpreppers.com. If I'm driving, so I can't look at that screen over there.
If he looks at the screen, I'm going to stick him with the Mora Eldris. That little pig sticker. I'm in Myrtle Beach.
Who is?
Grunt for Life.
Cool, Myrtle Beach is a nice area. I'm going on vacation there.
When will you buy a real truck?
Elmer, you don't be talking like
Elmer.
that, son. Amish people can't drive trucks.
How's that? You can't even be on the internet. Does your mama know you're on the internet, Elmer? Thank you for the service you provide us. You're welcome, Watcom.
Appreciate it.
I'm trying to remember your questions. How do you volunteer to work with us? People do that a lot. It's, it kind of gets sticky because of insurance and stuff. Our work is not super safe, so you got to have. If you're not the owner of your business, you got to carry workers' comp and stuff like that. But if you're really, really into it, and there's a specific type of project you want to work on and that you want to learn about, just email us privately or message Scott. And is your email address on your YouTube channel?
Yes, it should be. It should be in the.
It's on his website.
It's on
for
the
sure.
main screen. The picture on top. It should be there.
We got a guy from South Africa. He's from District 9, and he's volunteered.
Is that Tim?
Yeah, Tim.
Oh, yes, Tim.
There are lots of
Hello,
secrets.
Tim.
No, he's not on here, but there are a lot of secrets in District 9.
Rats.
And he volunteered with us. But I mean, I don't really take volunteers because then you're so worried about.
No, nobody works for free. We pay everybody well.
How do you get all your equipment you need to each site?
Well, you got to hire Big Boss's transport company for that.
Scott loves to receive heavy things and move them.
Real trucks, Elmer.
Yeah, real trucks is what we do, Elmer.
Gooseneck trailers.
Gooseneck trailers and Ford F-350s and 9,000-pound GVWR Ford Transit F-250s. And we try to drop ship stuff to as close as we can to the projects. Then we load it on trailers.
Now they deliver to me, though, now. It's so nice.
A lot of stuff gets delivered to Scott. He's actually got a location he can take it. I got some friends with a commercial location, but I still got to pick it up and then move it. So,
I'm the grunt.
A lot of time our customers have tractors with forks on site, so that's nice. So, have you ever built a bunker?
Yeah.
There's been some bunkers. We've
several.
seen a lot of bunkers get built. Let's put it that way.
From the high dollar Rising S out of Texas to homemade fuel tanks, shipping containers, block buildings.
Yeah.
A lot of ways to do it.
But bunkers, we're
don't
not
like
a huge
bunkers.
fan of bunkers. I mean, if it's like a root cellar / storage area,
It's the Alamo.
and you can go in there. But if you're going in a bunker, now I've seen a lot of
They all
bunkers.
died there.
I've seen bunkers where there's 2 ways in. way in and a way out, that's better. But if it's just a hole in the ground or a horizontal hole,
thank you.
I'm gonna fight. Just joined. Where are you headed? We're headed home. We're headed north.
Just finished a job.
Do we still prefer ground mount versus roof? Absolutely. We love ground mounts.
Well, there's a cool new ground mount Johnny and I are going to talk about, but it's coming up.
We're not talking about the number one rule about this ground mount. Don't talk about it. Not till I get it
tested.
We'll tell you, Jason. Get a Duramax, says Elmer Eversol. Is that some kind of a cart, Elmer?
Remember, Elmer, Chevy can't make their own engines or transmissions. So what is that piece of put together thing?
Thoughts? What are your thoughts on geothermal greenhouse earth tubes? Do they work? Okay, I'll tell you something cool. You remember that guy Abraham that works with us? He worked at a charcoal manufacturing company that made biochar up in Asheville. You're looking for a manufactured awesome biochar. What's it called? What's the place called? Blue Ridge Biochar. Blue Ridge Biochar was using the waste heat from the greenhouses, or from the biochar retorts to heat greenhouses. So that's kind of like that. Have you used trackers down that way? Do we use trackers down here? We're always talking about
a bunch of trackers ever messed up.
Yeah, I've seen some messed up trackers. Could you guys see grid-tied battery backup taking over and ever being replaced these propane natural gas generators? Yeah, grid-tie battery backup is...
That already we have a lot of customers that have done grid-tie battery backup in lieu of a propane generator. So that's not a problem.
Propane generators are expensive to run, they're loud. Ground mount solar panels, question mark. Yes? Is that the answer to that?
Yes, always yes. The answer is yes.
Have fun doing your commercial. Keep the shiny side up. See ya. See ya, buddy. Appreciate all the videos that you all... Oh, are you calling this a commercial? Because it's more of a Q&A. I'll put up. Thank you so much for all your work. You're welcome, Aaron Kinman. Thank you for watching. So I just got to talk more about this ADU timber frame thing. So this is going to be like...
It's going to be awesome.
My goal in life is to squelch out the tiny house movement by giving a better solution. So...
Yeah, houses on trailers just...
It's a trailer. It's a trailer. But I understand what they want. That you guys want an affordable, approachable, not out of control, huge housing solution that's efficient and as semi-permanent as it can be, and that's what we're trying to do here.
We're getting from the beginning of the project, we're getting involved so that there is attention given to the infrastructure. So there's going to be no corners cut on the water, the power, the air conditioning, the heating, and that being a separate ADU. That was the cool thing about this project. We're laying claim to our own mechanical room.
Yeah, we're actually going to have our own power. It's not the ADU, it's going to be the PDU, Power Dwelling Unit. That name's subject to change too. Maybe the Power Shack. Where do you stand? Where do you stay on long projects? RVs or hotels? Hotels, without bed bugs. I like a Hampton Inn, but Hampton Inn's high. Last time we stayed at a Sleep Inn, it was nice. I'm super paranoid about bed bugs, so we'll get into that. Does anyone on your crew have a CDL? Says plow truck driver.
No,
we don't.
We don't have that big of stuff.
We can get, if it's a huge job, we can get a big truck, to deliver. Greetings from Switzerland, and thanks for all the helpful info you share. I went to Switzerland one time, man. It was pretty. So many flowers. Scott, stop looking at the comments. Look at the road. He's not looking at the comments. He's looking at this piece of
cheese. I'm eating Johnny's cheesecake.
He's looking at this cheese strudel thing that Darlene made us.
Cheese, whatever, Danish.
It's actually awesome.
That's crazy.
But I'm telling him to stop too. So if you have any more questions, otherwise we're probably gonna get off here, man. We gotta talk about real stuff. Scott, stop looking at the comments. Hi from the UK. I'll be in touch. Grunt for life. Yep, let us know. Where will you manufacture the ADUs? Well,
North Carolina. Saluda, North Carolina.
Saluda, North Carolina.
Most beautiful timber frame automation, Hundegger machining center for timber cans.
You're gonna put a video up of that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
This guy has got it figured out. He's got his son working there, and man, this barn
It did it all by hand for years, but then he automated it. They could knock out a house in 45 minutes.
How do you qualify new stuff that comes up? Do you just give it a go?
Yes, and usually it's either on my place or somebody else's place. Sometimes we'll find a guinea pig customer who know we disclose everything ahead of time, and they're willing to try it. Or I run it at my place. But Johnny's getting there too, or he's going to be guinea pig too.
But people send you a lot of stuff to try, don't they?
Yeah.
When it comes to high dollar stuff, they don't usually send it. But who sent you sauce? Solar did, VSP.
Homeless.
But then now how do you qualify? Or micron? And then once you get it, you run the full out of it.
Right. Like all the air conditioners and stuff, I am just beating on those things from Hotspot Energy. 2 years, I just run them full bore on heat and cool and just see if they last. And so everything I try to tell people about, I'm actually running.
I was reading today on this dude's just in case solar power out of Australia. He was talking about how he tests these units. He gives them over voltage for a month.
Over voltage?
He over voltages them for a month, and then he said he did something else to them just to see if they work. Johnny, how far do you live from Scott?
2 hours.
Well, depends on whether you're looking at my Garmin or my Google Maps.
Depends on who's driving.
Yeah. J Master says he designed a 12 container home.
Proceed on I-85 north.
Sent you a Greenville kid from New Tribes headed overseas. He's legit. Don't know what that means. Where are you rednecks headed? Hey Ralph, we're headed home.
Is that Ralph who?
Mr. Faria himself.
Is it really?
Yes.
Hey Ralph.
Man himself.
You get a salute, sir.
Advisable for a fridge to run 24/7 on solar. I mean, the easiest way to do it is like a sun frost.
Well, it doesn't run 24/7.
Right. The fridge has a duty cycle.
So nothing's running 24/7 except my air conditioner. I run that to death. For 2 years, I've never shut it off. And it's never satisfied, so I just keep it running.
But when you hear your fridge and you sit there and listen to it,
You eating all that cheese Danish?
I'm not eating your cheese Danish, dude. Your cheese Danish is right here.
Don't touch my cheese Danish.
Anyway, the fridge has a duty cycle, so you're gonna hear it cut on every 15 minutes or something like that. And that's when it's pulling power. Other times it's just like maybe pulling 100 watts just to sit there. It's got that phantom load going. But when it's actually cooling, that's the duty cycle. So if you want to run a fridge 24/7, you need a minimum of a 400 amp hour battery bank, I think. And then you need like 3 panels, depending on where you are. But the Amish, I could do a video on Amish system sizing.
Elmer.
How does your AC not overheat when you run the full out of it?
It's a good question. I mean, it's just limited. It will only pull 800 watts, so it's just, I don't know why it won't overheat. And I'm running it as hard as she'll run. I got it set on 64 degrees in the summer, and I got it cranked up at 80 in the winter.
No, I got the perfect answer for how does your AC not overheat.
Okay.
It's cooling.
Sorry.
Oh my. It's got
Anyway.
a good fan in it.
That was a good Danish. Wow, thanks, Cole. You laughed at me. Do you guys hire people when working on big projects? If I get a big project, I hire Scott. If he gets a big project, he hires me.
And then we have our helpers.
And we have like this awesome electrician, Larry Herman. Scott usually has an assistant that he hires, a young person that he can just, he runs through them like t-shirts. He runs through them like britches. He'll keep a young guy working for a couple of weeks, and then when that young guy realizes what he doesn't want to do for a living, goes to college or...
They only see a 5-minute to 10-minute YouTube video. They didn't see the 50 hours of digging ditches.
But like, we really don't do that big of solar projects. Well, we don't do that big of projects. Like Mr. Faria's project was quite large. Am I supposed to say that?
That's fine.
Okay. Anyway, you know,
He ain't scared.
solar farms are huge, and they're just put together with like 2 guys that know what they're doing, and everybody else is just a grunt labor.
Yeah, we don't. We would do a solar farm if we had that opportunity, but that's not our.
Yeah, you just
That's
solar
boring.
farm is the same thing over and over
Boring.
and over and over and over again. I would totally do one if I had some land, some other people that would
Next
invest
to a
in it.
substation.
Give me some piece of land with 3-phase all over it, and I'll just slap them solar panels up.
I'd put up enough to offset my power bill for life. How are your thoughts about Trump's solar border wall? Would it work? Yes, it would work as long as he had a load near it. And why not? What do you think? I'm not going down there to hang those panels. All right. Cole says, how long have you been prepping? I'm not going down there. Should you be careful when you associate me with the Amish? I might become offended. Elmer, I'm sorry if you're not Amish. Are you Mennonite? No. What is it?
Former. I thought he was former.
Former Amish. Former. Well, sorry if we offend you. We don't intend that.
Just messing with you, Elmer.
What are your... All right. How long have you been prepping? Both of you. Scott's been prepping. You were born prepping, weren't you?
Yeah, I've been prepping since I was homesteading. I put my first ram pump in 1998.
Prepping before it was prepping, right?
Solar water pumping for 16 years. I don't know. It's just smart. I don't call it. It's not necessarily prepping. It's just smart. Being responsible for your own water, your food, your power. It's kind of fun too. If you're willing to plumb and get dirty and dig and wire but we've lost so many skills, so that's why this is great. YouTube, get on there and just try this stuff. We've just kind of created this job, haven't we? We're just pioneering. We feel like we're pioneering in infrastructure.
All right. Everybody knows you've been prepping since the beginning of time. You're the father of the modern prepping movement. You're the grand prepping czar. Scott is the prepper czar. I grew up with a dad that was always telling me and my brothers and my sisters
1 mile, keep
about
right
how,
onto
this
I-85
world's temporary and, things could collapse really quick, and really just used to scare the fool out of me. And for a long time I had that worldview. It's like a real eschatological worldview. But my dad's a great guy, and he raised me, and he was a single father, and he did a lot of things right. You're talking trash about him. Yeah, you're going the right way. Stay on 985.
We're in 7 lanes of traffic here, folks.
But I started prepping, really started prepping after I had my first child. So that would have been 2010. And I'm not like an awesome prepper, but when I got a wife and a kid, I started feeling like I needed to be more of a prepper and start doing something about these fears that I'd always had in my head from when I was a little kid. And the more I prepped, the better I felt. And so I prepped and prepped and prepped. Just like the Grinch. Come visit us in West Africa. Not only my village is not tied to a grid, we don't have any grid at all. I live in a condo. Any HOA-friendly prepper ideas? Berkey water filter. We're not coming to Africa right now. I'm sorry.
Speak for yourself.
You're going.
We got
Scott's
a
ready.
trip to. We can go to Malaysia.
I got 3 kids, man. My wife's not going to have it. You ever use any propane generators?
Oh yes, Cummins Onan. That's the ones that we sell, we install.
And then what's the thoughts versus gas? All the difference is you change out a little piece and it'll run off propane or
Natural gas? No. Is he saying gas or natural gas?
Are you talking about gas, like the liquid that you get at the
Or-
gas
or natural
station, or
gas.
natural gas like you get from the city that gets plumbed into your house? Because if it's natural gas, you just change out an orifice.
Propane, because propane. All the way.
Elmer says he's not offended. The Amish just don't like him much. Elmer, I'm sorry. You were right here in front
How's
of me.
that Chiltrix running there,
Give you a
Elmer?
hug. I thought Elmer was Amish.
I thought he said he grew up on
Did
it.
you get shunned, Elmer? Sorry, I don't want to
Sorry,
touch on
Elmer.
that. Gasoline, Michael. We don't shun you, Elmer. God doesn't shun you. Gasoline.
No, you want propane. The gasoline quality is horrible, and we're going to spend more time maintaining and trying to keep that generator running. But you don't have to worry about that on propane. Propane is the way to go with a generator.
Because of the storage, the
Yeah.
propane stores longer.
Now, if you're serious battery backup, charging, you don't have a lot of solar, and you're a halfway decent mechanic, I would do the diesel all the way. 1,800 RPM diesel generator that's going to run at least 20,000 to 30,000 hours.
Diesel doesn't keep as long as propane, but the diesel motor runs longer than the propane motor, right?
Well, yeah, but now they do the propane motors using a diesel platform, so you know it's a toss-up. You
What?
want long
Longevity
run?
of a diesel with the storage of propane.
There you go.
Where do I sign?
Kubota.
Kubota does that? But if you have to get a gas generator, the Hondas are the way to go. The little EU series, Honda EU 2000. Johnny, do you have a channel? Yes, I do.
It's
Dane
on my
Solar.
channel. If you go to the right side of my channel, it's the link for his for
Cole.
Johnny's channel's right there.
Cole, I have 590. I think I have like 590 subscribers. And I
Yeah,
looked
please
this
go
morning.
check out Johnny's got a lot of great videos. Go to his site, subscribe to Johnny Valentine, which is Gain Solar Services.
I expect you sub me, Cole. I'm not as prolific as the engineer, but if you don't sub, I shall be hurt. Yeah, I don't know how many subs. I got like 590 followers. But you know, I'm plugging away.
He's doing good, doing very well. Much better videos than my first videos.
Well, could you guys recommend a pumping system for my neighborhood in West Africa? I was in Philadelphia, PA in 2 months. I will be. I will is.
What
you
is
will
your
be.
source of water, sir? Is it a well?
Yeah.
What's your source? Is it a well?
He's not saying.
Oh.
African guy, Ken Kaloko. Kaloko. Found you. Thanks, Cole. Appreciate your dedication. Okay, you got a well. Ken's got a well. Ken, how deep is the well? What's the static water level? What's the drill depth? I'm sure he's got sun since he's in Africa. Will the ADUs run on propane? The ADUs
They will have an option.
Yeah, they're going to have a propane.
Maybe on-demand water heaters, cooking, and maybe a generator. So, and a closed dryer.
Yeah, those will all be options. Those
Yeah.
will all be options. But they're going to run off solar and battery, solar primarily, and then battery backup, and then generator to keep the battery size down and prolong the battery. But if it's not
Why are those
fully off
comments
grid,
over my face?
yep, because so you won't look at it.
Oh, okay.
So it's not fully off grid. So if it's not fully off grid, it probably won't have a propane generator. Any hydroelectric projects coming up?
No.
Ain't no hydro
Nothing
down here.
scheduled. Nothing
But
scheduled.
I will tell you that Georgia, almost all the counties in Georgia are now out of severe and extreme drought, which is, thank the Lord for that. The good Lord above. Yeah, I'm shunned that Chiltrix is running great. Elmer
Is that
says
Elmer?
he is shunned.
Shut.
I asked Elmer if he got shunned, and he says yeah.
Oh, two different thoughts there. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
running great.
Sorry, Elmer.
Yeah, we really like well, I do. Johnny's watching to see if it's going to work, but the residential chillers going with water. We can do anything with water. So
You need to say something inspirational to Elmer, though. I feel bad for him that he's.
well, let's do a shout out to him. It's a Universal. I keep messing up. Is he Universal Solar PA? Elmer, your channel. Check out Elmer Ebersol. He's a great solar installer up in Pennsylvania.
How far is
If any-
Pennsylvania from North
He's in, I think he's
Virginia?
in Millersburg. I can't remember. It's in Millersburg, PA. So if you folks up in Yankee Land need a solar installer, Elmer can hook you up.
Put your info on your right in this thing, and I'll read it off, Elmer.
Yeah. And you can also email me, and I'll send you Elmer's contact information.
I gotta stop Cole here. It says, Scott, what are your trades other than electrical? Not electrical. That's his trades.
No, I'm a journeyman. I'm learning. I'm an assistant on the electrical.
Neither of us are electricians.
We're just
We get
thought
it.
we'd try it.
We like to play
We
like
have
we
learned
are.
so much from Larry Herman from Copperhead Electric. So we're not licensed plumbers or electricians. We just pretend to be that on YouTube.
Spencer Langston says he needs a hydro installer that will travel. And thoughts on solar roof tiles versus solar panels. Solar roof tiles.
Yeah, too many pieces, too much wiring, too many junctions.
Too hard to install.
Spencer, if you why don't you come out, Spencer, and get out of there in
Yeah.
Bennettsville, wherever I forgot you were.
Undisclosedville.
Undisclosedville. And we'll meet you. We'll help you. We'll be your lackeys on the next hydro install.
It says, Ken, it sounds like you need to meet Elmer in PA. That could be. Maybe that's what you guys need to do. All right, Scott is not a handyman. This is how I would describe Scott Hunt if I had to describe him to you in front of him. Is he's got mad plumbing skills. I don't know how you're pretty good on septic too, aren't you? He's got mad plumbing skills. His skills on plumbing, I would say he's closest to being a plumber. He's a mechanical engineer. He's very, I mean, he could probably wire your house. He's a good electrician. He's pretty good at electrical work. But I mean, he's not like mind-blowing. He's not Larry Herman. He ain't no Larry Herman. But I'm telling you, if you get out there, you want to get in a trade, and you work with somebody that's a true master, and not just says master written by their name, but somebody who's out there installing and just killing it, which there's dudes out there that have been doing this for 30 years, and they can just kill it. And you work with one of those guys for a couple of months, and it's like, I don't know why, but
New world.
Yeah, you just totally...
Your confidence is so boosted.
You pretend that you're them when you're working. I pretend that I'm Larry Herman.
Vicarious electrician.
How many solar panels in square feet?
To run a house.
Somebody's talking about Mary Ann Scott. All right. Solar panels in square feet. How much battery capacity would I need approximately living about 47 degrees north? I have a yearly use of about 8,500 kilowatts. Would like to go completely off grid. If you want to go completely off grid with that load, the calculation to reverse engineer that 8,500 kilowatt hour number is 8,500 kilowatt hours divided by your average sun hours per day,
Probably three.
which is probably 3, divided by that gets you to the kilowatt hours you need per day, and then what do you divide it by? So divided by kilowatt hours per day.
I can't do math and drive
Kilowatt hours, and then divide it by 0.8. And that's the efficiency, and that's the DC system size that you would need. So I don't know what that is. I can look up on my calculator.
How much was the solar? How much solar?
8,500 watts.
All right, divided by 3.
8,500 watts divided by 3 is a 2,833. Okay, that's in a year. Sorry, 8,500 a year divided by, well, I don't know how to do it from a year. Divided by 365. That's it. Right?
Yeah. We sure this thing would go into your...
Proceed on I-85 north.
Yeah, is that where it splits into 985?
Okay.
All right, so 23. So you divide 8,500 by 365 days a year. That's 23.
What's the 8,500?
Is how many he uses per year. Divided by 365, that gets you 23 kilowatt hours per day. Then when you get to day, you divide that by 3. That gets you to 7.76 kilowatt hour solar. You divide that by I like 0.8 just to be big. That gets you up to 9.7. The 0.8 is the derate factor for the solar.
10 kW.
That's the size of a
DC.
solar array that you need. So
You need a 10 kW, son, or you better shed that load.
you probably don't need all of that, though, to be completely off-grid. So you need to minimize your load first,
Yes, best money
Mr.
spent.
Tanju. Minimize your load, and then, get it down to a manageable size. We do a lot of 10 kWs, but I'm a firm believer that somebody could get by with, if you played your cards right, you could probably get by with a 4 kW, 5 kW. Elmer Abersol says Universal Solar LLC, Millersburg, PA.
Orangeburg. Sorry, I said Millersburg. Sorry, they gotta be
In
close.
an apartment, how would you recommend going about water storage catchment?
There's a lot of containers in there's so many BPA-free water containers. You can buy them, 55-gallon drums. Buy new. Don't mess around with stuff you don't know what's been in the containers. Everybody says they don't have room. Turn it into furniture. You can store under your bed, store in closets. There's no excuse. Store at least, I would say, 2 gallons of potable water per person for a period of 3 months, and you can. That's a no-brainer. I don't care where you live. You should have some water stored in your dwelling. But that's the first line of defense and prepping, is having water storage.
I got a question from Spencer Langston. He says, how many amps will the solar array we put in the Magnum Micro GT video push back into the solar array? So those Micro GTs are 500 watts a piece. There's 7 of them, so that's 3,500 watts of AC power. So if there was no load at all, and for an instant they push full power back into the battery, that would be 3,500 watts divided by roughly 52 volts. So that'd be 67 amps that they can hit it with, which has got a 60 amp charger. It's temperature compensated. The max charge rate is 120 amps on that battery. So it's a pretty. You need it. I think it was 120 amp max charge rate.
So
you need a battery that can handle a pretty good max charge rate for any AC coupling application, because you need to be able to take. It needs to be able to absorb the full array amp dump for a second before the AC coupling overcharge mechanism kicks in, because that battery voltage is going to go up, and you want something that's going to be able to absorb it, which is what, you know, with a hard shut off, you know, your solar array kicks off when it gets above the absorption set point. With the Magnum stuff, it just starts throttling the array back, and that's what's nice, is that it kind of controls the charge. So I hope that answers your question, Mr.
battery is
Spencer.
quite an inertial dampener. Aren't you working, Spencer?
Yeah, he's building that little cabin.
You
in his
should be
house.
doing hydro.
Well, does anybody else say anything? I'm about parched here. All right,
Johnny's tired of talking,
we're getting off.
and I can't look at the comments.
Unless
so,
somebody, 50 minutes is enough.
Yeah.
We
All
gotta
right,
talk.
folks. Thanks for hopping on here. And if you got any questions, you can contact either one of us. Don't forget to sign up with Johnny's channel.
Gain Solar Services. That's GAIN, like you gain weight.
And it is. If
No
you
ES.
go to my channel, you'll see my featured channels on the right. He's there. Just click on there. All right. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Signing out.